You ever work your whole life for something, finally get it, and then watch some smug lady with a clipboard try to take it away like she owns the world? Yeah, that's how this started. 3 weeks after I moved into my dream home. Front porch, tall trees, quiet neighborhood tucked off the highway. 3 black SUVs rolled into my driveway. Like it was a crime scene. Doors swung open in perfect sync. 6 men in tactical vests poured out. And right behind them stood the woman I'd been butting heads with for weeks. Nancy Dillard, self-appointed president of an HO that far as I could tell didn't even legally exist. You're in violation of neighborhood regulations, the tallest guy barked. We have a warrant for your removal. Nancy crossed her arms and smirked like she just checkmated me in some suburban Cold War. What she didn't know, what none of them knew, was that I wasn't just some stubborn homeowner. I was the chief of police, and I'd been letting this game play out long enough. But let's back it up because you got to understand how we got here. I bought this house after years of working late shifts, living out of suitcases, moving from one precinct to another. Finally decided I wanted to settle down somewhere quiet. I didn't want to deal with HOA rules, lawn snitches, or neighborly power trips. So I made absolutely sure this property had no active HOA when I signed. First day I moved in. Hadn't even unpacked my kitchen yet. And there she was. Nancy standing across the street like some Hallmark villain in a pantsuit. Clipboard clutched like a weapon. No hello, no welcome, just a stare. Long and judgmental. Next morning, red notice taped to my front door. Violation 1, non-compliant mailbox. Violation 2, landscaping not approved. Violation 3, failure to register with HOA. It blinked. I hadn't even unboxed my coffee maker, and more importantly, there was no HOA. I crumpled the notice and tossed it. Should have been the end of it. It wasn't. An hour later, Nancy marched up my driveway, heels clicking, smile fake as plastic. Afternoon, she said, syrupy sweet. I assume you got the notice? Yeah, I replied, wiping sweat from my brow. I threw it away. Her face twitched. That wasn't a suggestion. I chuckled. Funny, I don't recall joining any HOA. She snapped her clipboard shut. Your street was annexed into ours last year. Not without my signature. It wasn't. NY's tone sharpened. You'll comply, Mr. Ryland, or we'll escalate to who? The clipboard police. She stormed off, and that's when things turned ugly. Over the next few days, I found more red notices taped to my door, my fence, my garbage bins. A $500 fine appeared for non-compliance. Ita said it. Then my mailbox got smashed. My car keyed. Power flickered out twice in one night. I checked my security cams and caught Nancy, flashlight in hand, snooping around at 2 a.m., taking pictures like she was building a case. I realized this wasn't just pettiness, this was a campaign, a full-on operation, so I did what I do best. I investigated, went down to the county clerk's office, dug into property records. As I suspected, NY's HOA didn't legally exist. No registration, no tax ID, no board recognized by the city. But she'd been acting like one, sending out phony fines, collecting dues, even threatening foreclosure. Turns out a lot of folks in the neighborhood had been paying her just to shut her up, scared of being targeted. Some had even sold their homes to escape. And those compliance officers she sent around, not city officials, not even security contractors, just goons in vests and knockoff badges. I went straight to her door the next day, banged harder than necessary. She opened it smiling like she'd been expecting me. I was wondering when you'd show up, she said. I held up the documents. This fake HOA ends today. She glanced at the papers, unimpressed. You can try, but you're outnumbered. And right then, I noticed them for guys in black shirts standing behind her. The same ones who'd been snooping around my property. Real professional. Except none of them noticed my badge poking out from under my shirt. That night I upgraded my security system, more cameras, motion lights, and sure enough, at 2:14 a.m., they came back. 2 guys in dark clothing standing in my driveway, whispering, pointing at my house. I stepped outside, weapon holstered but visible. You boys looking for something? They froze. One muttered, routine compliance check. At 2 miles in the morning, I raised an eyebrow, get off my property. They left without a word, but I knew what was coming next. What I didn't expect was the theater. A few days later, just as the sun was setting, I hear engines. 3 black SUVs roll up. 6 men in tactical gear step out like it's a hostage negotiation. Nancy appears behind them, arms folded like she's directing a damn SWAT team. One of the men, tall, square-jawed mirror shades, approaches with a folder. You're in violation of neighborhood code, he announces. We have a warrant for your removal. I tilt my head. You have a warrant for what exactly? He opens the folder full of made-up forms and hoe headers. Refusal to comply with lawful HOA enforcement. Nancy steps in. We gave you every chance, Mr. Ryland. You chose this path. I stay calm, real calm. Iskin their gear. Their uniforms are inconsistent, badges clipped on wrong. Their stance too rehearsed like guys who watched a few cop shows and thought they could wing it. I reach into my pocket slowly and pull out my badge. I'm Chief Ryland, local PD. Silence. Long stretched out silence like time held its breath. One guy stumbles backward. Another swears under his breath. NY's face drains of color. Is this a joke? No, I say, stepping forward. But impersonating an officer is a felony. So is unlawful detainment. So is attempted home invasion. So is fraud. From down the block, the real siren started. Squad cars rolled in fast. My guys poured out, we'd been ready. The fake officers dropped their gear and put their hands up. One tried to run, bad idea. My lieutenant tackled him so hard he bounced off the pavement. Nancy, she just stood there frozen, clutching that damn clipboard like it could still protect her. We cuffed every last one of them. Reynolds, my lieutenant, looked around and muttered, "Hell of an ho-ha, Chief." I turned to Nancy. Anything you want to say? She tried. This is a mistake. I didn't do anything wrong. I held up the phony warrant. So these guys just showed up on their own with this. She looked away. I was just trying to keep order. We searched her house. What we found? Bank records, property liens, forged documents, not just from our neighborhood, but from others. She'd been running this scam for years under different names, different neighborhoods, sometimes buying homes through shell companies after pressuring owners to sell, sometimes collecting dues and disappearing, and tucked in the back of one folder was a signature. Nothers but a city official's. That explained how she got access to homeowner data, why her paperwork looked legit, why complaints disappeared. Nancy wasn't the top, she was just the middle. We built a case. In a week, we had search warrants, raided 4 more properties, seized over $2.7 million in assets, arrested board members, fake officers, and yes, the city official behind it all, a real estate fraud ring hiding behind fake HOAs. Nancy flipped fast, testified for a reduced sentence, claimed she was just following orders, just trying to keep order. But when you terrorize a neighborhood, forge documents, impersonate police, and try to arrest the actual chief of police, yeah, not really what you're after. By the end of the month, the whole thing came down, and just like that, the people who'd been bullied for years were free. About a month later, I was sipping coffee on my porch when a letter arrived, hand-delivered, fancy envelope. I opened it. It was from the Rail Homeowners Association of Springview County. And what it said? Well, that's astery for another day. But before I go, let me ask you something. What would you have done in my place if your neighbor tried to turn a fake HOA into a private army? If they tried to steal your property with phony legal threats? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear what you think about HOA abuse, fake authority, and what justice should really look like in a neighborhood like this. And hey, if this story blew your mind just a little, hit like, hit subscribe, and stick around. We're just getting started.